We live in one of the most dynamic real estate markets anywhere, and there are many examples of stories, both positive and negative, about the industry. We checked in with Vanessa DSOUZA, a realtor with REMAX in Motion, based in Delray Beach, Florida. Vanessa talked about the process from both the buyer's and seller's perspective, and what consumers should look for to ensure a great experience. Vanessa, what is your role in the real estate process?
You know, as an agent, I have buyers that come to me all the time. And, you know, the most important thing is to find out what their needs are, what their criteria is, to listen to them. You know, I like to know what's the most important thing that matters to them in purchasing that home, that dream home that they want, as opposed to, you know, what are your absolute wants and what are the things that don't really matter. So I sit there with them and I give them a good hour. I want to know, I write down everything. I want to know exactly what it is that they're looking for. Is it a school? Is it the highway? Is it a job? Is it the location? Is it a combination of it all? And once we do that, you know, we're not wasting their time, we're not wasting my time. We're looking really at knowing what they want, how soon they want it, and getting them into that home. And that to me is very important.
Who are all the most important persons in collaborating to help a client buy a home?
The first person that really is the most important is their lender. And they have to go and find out, well, what can I afford? So we have something called the debt to income ratios. We want to know what's their debt and what's their income, and bringing those two together, what exactly can they afford? Is it a $200,000 home, a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000? We also need to look at their credit. Is their credit, you know, sustainable to purchasing that home? And the person that really does that for the agent and for the buyer is the lender. They take all their information, such as their tax returns 3 years back. They look at what job they've had, how long they've had it, what their income levels are, where their income is coming in. And we put together a little plan. So they would tell this buyer, okay, you know, this is where you qualify. Based on your income, based on what you owe in terms of credit cards and car payments, and even if they have a home now, this is where we're most comfortable in advising you that this is the type of home, the cost of a home that you can afford. Where we also take into consideration their taxes, if there's association, you know, what their maintenance would be. And we try to make sure that they're comfortable with that. And then we start the process. Okay, I know this is where they can afford. If it's a $350,000, $450,000, whatever, you know, price home it is, I start with that process. And then we start narrowing it down to what their criteria is. And then hopefully, you know, we move on from there and they take a look at some of the homes and we start looking.
We had a chance to talk to Greg Seltzer, branch manager at Cross Country Mortgage, who works very closely with Vanessa in the process of supporting her clients when looking for a home. Greg, how do you help them through the process?
So Cross Country Mortgage is a direct correspondent lender headquartered out of Brecksville, just outside of Cleveland, Ohio. And the advantages of working with a cross-country mortgage over other companies and banks is that as a correspondent lender, we control the entire process. So when you go to a bank, the bank has the bank's options, right? And then when a file gets in, the loan goes anywhere else in the country to be processed, not necessarily with the person that the customer started dealing with, right? So the customer gets bounced around and they lose control over the process. With Cross Country Mortgage, we control the entire process from the first conversation until the loan funds. So we have our own in-house underwriting, our own in-house processing, funding, all the way through the time that we send the wire to the title company. The file never leaves our office. We want to look at 2 years of personal financials. And so for a new home buyer, we generally want to see last 2 W-2s, last 2 tax returns, last couple of pay stubs, last 2 months of bank statements. And then when someone comes to our office, we'll review their credit together with them and put together a plan that fits their budget.
Thumbs Up likes to talk about the digital age. How does that help or not help the client today in the mortgage process?
Yeah, the digital, the shift since I've been in the business to now is quite different, where, you know, most people are initiating their process online. And so there's a lot of companies online that push their online services. And it's a good and a bad thing. So I feel like technology is great for the mortgage process. It's easier for consumers to be able to upload things and get quick answers. However, it still needs a human touch and an expert opinion to review the documents versus just doing things online. A lot of things can get missed when a process is just done online versus having human interaction.
There are plenty of steps involved in a real estate transaction. How long should it take from beginning to end?
The realistic time frame is anywhere from 30 to 45 days.
Buying a home is very important, but just more importantly, selling a home. Tell me what process one could expect to go through with you when selling a home.
Selling a home is a major deal because at this point in time, you need an agent that knows how to market your home effectively to get it sold quickly and at pretty much market value. You don't want to underprice it, and you certainly don't want to overprice it. So the first thing that a seller needs to do is really vet their agent. What are you going to do for me? How are you going to get my home sold very quickly? That comes in many forms, as from the time you list, to photography, to possibly staging a home, to the location, things like that. There's a lot of things that go into that, and letting the seller know that, we understand that you love your home, and we understand that you may have a price point in mind, but we also have to be mindful of what the market is bringing at that point in time and educate them there as well.
What's the best way for someone to want to reach out and connect with you?
Give me a call. You can call me at 954-658-9993. My email as well is vkdesouza, DSOUZA, @yahoo.com. I'm always available. I will always get back to you in a timely manner, and I hope you do call.